What's up, everybody? Crypto junkies, this is Crypto J, your captain speaking, and we are about to descend into some Bitcoin news. So let's do it. All right, let's start off at the cap. We are at 133 billion in the cap. BitConnect still looking strong. Of course, I got to check in with BitConnect. That's like our baby here. 718 million to 778 later in the week here. We're only at Wednesday. That reminds me, I've got a video that I'm going to release later on today where we're going to talk about an upcoming ICO. I'm going to start covering ICOs more and more, my take on them, and just kind of go through the motions on that. All right, so let's talk news. We're going to stick with Cointelegraph today, and we've got some interesting stuff happening. So the Bitcoin exchange is out completely in China. They're giving everybody, they're giving the Chinese Bitcoin exchanges by September 30th, but by October, the Bitcoin exchange BTC China will close. What's very interesting about that / not so interesting is the fact that it's fucking China, guys. Like, they don't even have Google. They don't have YouTube. They've got all their own stuff. They've got WeChat. They've got all kinds of different tools. They're big on Yahoo in Asia. Even though China is a main miner, it's a main holder and staker of the Bitcoin itself, does not mean that news like this will affect what's moving forward. It will affect the progression and the natural, I guess you could say, the natural path that we're going on with Bitcoin. Also, to remember that Bitcoin might not be the main guy. Ethereum could step up, Neo could step up. There could be a lot of different players that step up, especially now that China has made this ban. And also, too, now that they've made this ban, everyone's going to be running to the next largest place, which is probably Japan. And so now the Japanese markets, if you were smart and saw this coming, which I didn't even bother looking at this side of it, you could have made serious plays and you could have made some serious money just in what we're dealing with now that everyone's going to run to Japan. All right, so what else do I got? I think I got the rest of the tabs open. Yeah, I wanted to just mention that, and then the rest I've got already open. Yep. Mexico's jumping in on Bitcoin regulation. Of course they are, because as soon as if the government ever released capital controls, then everyone would naturally attempt to run to Bitcoin or a cryptocurrency so that they could survive, so that they could, still transfer their wealth over. And you see that happening in South America all day long. It's happening in Europe. And of course, it's natural that it would happen in Mexico too, because it's not like the peso is very strong. So anyway, let's jump into the whole. I want to talk about the Jamie Dimon comment and the Bitcoin criticism, because it's important for you to see. I'm peeling back the curtain right now. In this news, I am peeling back the curtain to the realities of what you deal with when you invest in anything, but most importantly, cryptocurrencies. So that was a staged attack, guys. Everybody has said that too. So I'm just another voice in a long line of people who have called out the absolute obvious. It was a staged attack. He got on TV. He said what he said. They were already planned to sell. And then as soon as it tanked, at the same time he's on TV watching it tank, they're buying up more. It was a whale operation here, guys. So let's go through these pieces. Chase Bank buys Bitcoin even as Jamie Dimon rejects it. So basically, as he's talking on TV about how this is a fraud, just like the tulip bulb or the tulip bulb bubble in the 17th century. Wow, that's a lot. JP Morgan was actually buying. And so this I Am Nomad made this post and said, we see you, JP Morgan. But here it is right here, JP Morgan Securities making a big-ass buy right here, circled. You can come see the image yourself if you want. Just jump on Cointelegraph. Click through. The tweet is still alive. Guy hasn't been banned or nothing like that. But basically, yeah, they purchased a big block of Bitcoin just as the criticism started to be published and the price started to tank. So that's piece number one. Piece number two, we have got Adam Sharp talking about how this is a normal correction. Again, if you are playing this correctly, if you're going back and charting this thing out, Bitcoin corrections of 30 to 50% are normal. Even he says it here. So it's just natural and normal for a market to have a correction after a run like that. Historically, Bitcoin corrects anywhere between 30 to 50%, but the long-term trend is still strongly bullish. We're up from a 0.0033 in 2009 in the very early days to close to $4,000 today. So if you look back, it was maybe a couple weeks ago that I made a video and I was talking about, even though we've got these down days, weeks, months, the overall is still going up. The overall is still going up from when this first all started in 2009 and from where we were historically before now. A year ago, 6 months, 12 months from now. So you have to understand these realities of investing in Bitcoin so that it doesn't get you to do stupid stuff. It doesn't get you to freak out and sell or make a bad decision based on what the market and the fear is telling you today. If you were allocating funds, charting and making a plan correctly on this, on Bitcoin, you would be just fine. Through that last slump, you would have saw that it was coming out of that. So, yep, here's my monitor. You would have seen that what we're basically seeing is it topped off around $4,000, and I hate to say it, but we're about to come down again. And we could touch down, all the way into the low 2000s. But again, if you remember what I said in videos of the past, we could get as low, and I'm scheduled all the way down to 1,800. If it gets down below 2,000, it is fucking Christmas, my friends. That is when you buy. That is when, if you've missed everything so far in Bitcoin, you buy. That's if you want to get into this game anyways. You buy and you ride it all the way up, because on that wave up, we will be looking at north of $7,000 when it peaks again. Oops. And this could be the biggest we've ever seen or will ever seen. So again, there's my advice once again on my positioning. Okay, so back to this. Okay, get used to volatility. It's a little bit nauseating if you're a holder to sit through days and weeks like this, but I've been in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies since 2013, Sharp added. After a while, you just get used to it. Kind of. You realize that this is just extremely volatile. It's something you don't want to check every day. It's a roller coaster, an emotional roller coaster as well. If you just try to realize this is a speculative investment, I'm not going to look at it every day. That's kind of the mantra that I try to repeat to myself during the corrections, which are, like I said, natural and necessary. So what's the deal with Diamond and China? All right, so China is eyeing more regulation on the cryptocurrency space. Honestly, I don't think it's that big of a deal, but I think the market was kind of looking for an excuse to sell off. And the shaky hands, the holders who aren't totally sold on this thing yet. They had a gut reaction, the market sold off. As for Diamond, the whole idea of cryptocurrencies is that they can disrupt the current monetary system and the current financial order. So obviously banks like JP Morgan have a lot to lose in this scenario. Diamond is not only the CEO of JP Morgan, but also a Class A director on the board at the New York Federal Reserve. This is the epitome of the current financial status quo, the establishment kind of trying to push back against these new upstarts. So again, to state the obvious, he's vested in centralized banking. He's vested in the old way of doing things, the old guard. And they have very much tried to get in front of this thing and have failed to do so time and time again. So their way at like poking the fire and trying to stroke what's going on is to get on TV and start to talk shit. There was just another news article that was published within the last 24 hours. Let me dig it up in just a second. That's the other thing I wanted to talk about. All right, so let's cover one more piece to really hit the nail home with the JP Morgan, Diamond comments, okay? All right. JP Morgan is also looking for, they just put a job opening for a blockchain professional as a technical project execution manager dealing with distributed ledgers. The posting details included this interesting comment. The Blockchain Center of Excellence, BCOE, leads efforts for applications of distributed ledger technology, DLT, with JP Morgan. We are exploring blockchain use cases and piloting solutions across business lines. We are active in the blockchain. Come on, Jay, fix it. Get it together here. We are active in the blockchain ecosystem, developing technology, investing in strategic partnerships, and participating in industry consortia. So, what does it say here? What the fuck does it say? We are active in the blockchain ecosystem. That's funny. JP Morgan is active in the blockchain ecosystem, yet their CEO is coming on TV saying this is a fraud. This is the biggest fraud since the tulip bubble in the fucking 17th century. You starting to get it now? This is what we call FUD. This is a primary example of what we call good old propaganda, okay? Don't fall for that. If you're going to get into this, you got to have brass ball nuts. If not, then just don't do it. All right, one more thing. This is the last one, I promise. Overstock CEO Patrick Brine answers Jamie Dimon's Bitcoin criticism. He says, and I quote, "Remember that a year and a half ago, Jamie Dimon wrote a letter to shareholders saying, 'This is going to come eat our lunch.' He was scared to death of it. I think what they thought was that they could get in front of it, and they're realizing they can't get in front of it." He actually wrote a letter to shareholders saying, and I'm not a shareholder, so I don't know. I can't confirm that. This is going to come eat our lunch. No shit. And I think it's officially done that. It served you up a hot plate of innovate or get the fuck out of the room. And so, yeah, that's it. All right, so let me pause really quick, and then I'm going to find this last article. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so world's largest hedge fund founder. What? World largest hedge fund founder. Bitcoin is a bubble. Let's check it out. Now, this could be just another favor in a long line of favors that are being asked and executed on from the centralized banking institutions and all the big banks that are scared to death of the technology. Or it could just be a guy who's maybe bitter because he's missed out on the bubble. He's missed out on a lot of the money to be made with where they're allocating their hedge fund money. Or maybe it's just a misread. Like, there's so many things that this could be. It just kind of sucks that when a guy who's like managing a bunch of money or runs a bank or this or that comes on TV, we all shut up and listen and like, oh, wow. Oh, my God, he's so right. Yep, fuck, I knew it was a bubble. I knew it was a bubble. It's not, you know what I mean? Like, listen to a guy like me. I'm a nobody, but yet a lot of my reading on the market has been accurate, more accurate than these asshats on TV. And again, I could just as easily be wrong coming up as I've been right in the past. So, all right, what's he say here? See, he said in an interview, it's not an effective storehold of wealth because it has volatility to it, unlike gold. Bitcoin is a highly speculative market. Bitcoin is a bubble. Okay, great. This is actually the first time I'm reading this with you guys now live. Here's what they did. They took one sentence, one statement that he made, and that's the headline. Bitcoin is a bubble. He actually didn't say Bitcoin is a bubble, run away. He said that in comparison to gold, which is so slow and is the thing that backs our fiat currency, so I think it's pretty secure. I think it's the least volatile thing we've got. He says, unlike that, Bitcoin has a lot of volatility. Again, he's not telling us anything we don't already know. And I think that all this news should really serve is as a great rude awakening if you haven't caught on to this already, that you need to plan accordingly with this market if you're going to even step in and invest in it. Otherwise, don't bother. I don't want to see great people losing their money. I don't want to see the lineup of people who are losing money in this because they just don't know, they don't care, and they think that they're getting in on a quick buck. Don't be that person. Do your research, make a plan, or hire somebody who can make you a plan. Hire somebody who can take over the management of this for you and shut your eyes and go back to life and let them update you how they would, all right? That's it for now in this video. Oh, before I forget, 200 subscribers. We just crossed over just before I clicked on record. And so I really want to take a second and thank everybody in the community so far. 200 subscribers may not sound like a lot of people to some, but it all starts somewhere, my friends. And then it's 200, and then it's 500, and then it's 500,000. And before you know it, this is one of the largest communities on YouTube and the largest communities in crypto. And that's what I want for us. I want it to be this community of people that we're all on the same page. And I've talked about this before. We're all on the same page. We're all making a bunch of money and changing our lives and doing the shit that we want to do. So continue to share this around. If you place a comment and interact with these videos, then leave your BTC address because I will send you free Bitcoin. Yes, that's right. Interact with the videos, like them, comment, and then leave your BTC address and I'll shoot you over some free Bitcoin. All right, much love, my friends.